Very good morning once again from the sports desk. Definitely we are having that conversation with Ria Ledwaba. She has accepted her loss in the SAFA presidential race, but she's not accepting that Danny Jordaan is the right person to lead South African football. Jordaan was re-elected for a third term at the association's elective congress, which took place at the Sandton Convention Centre on Saturday. The former chief executive officer of the 2010 World Cup Organising Committee bagged 186 of the 221 votes, with Ledwaba managing just 27 and the other candidate, Ria, getting 8. Ledwaba joins us this morning to discuss her loss and where to from here for her. Very good morning to you, Mama, and thank you so much for making time for us once again. So that question, where to here for you now?
Good morning, Tupi, and good morning to your viewers. And let me first thank the South Africans, the churches, the political parties that stood to support me throughout this campaign. I want to thank them this morning, and I want to promise them that the issue of governance, the issue that I've raised in my dispute with SAFA, the issue that is before the court as I speak right now, will be pursued.
So now, of course, you have lost the election, and
yes,
a lot of people would say that we saw it coming. The writing was on the wall, you know, with Danny not even campaigning, with Danny not doing what it is you did, what it is Ria did. He left it to the last day, the day before the Congress, to say something about what it is we can expect. And a lot of people said, with that kind of attitude, you can almost sense that he was confident that he was going to win this election. Do you feel that those who had the power to decide who is going to lead South African football going forward were somewhat influenced way before the elections even?
In fact, the correct statement is that me and Soli never got an opportunity to speak to the voters. And that's a fact. You don't go to an election when you have not had an opportunity to speak to the voters. So the only time we had to speak to the voters was through the media, which is not good enough. We know, all of us South Africans know, that we only had 14 days to put our case up there, and it could only be with the media. But it would have been better if we had gone to the regions themselves and speak to them. And to say he did not do anything, he has been campaigning, he has been to the region as the president of the organization. He had all the opportunity for him to be able to, which was a disadvantage to the two of us.
Mama, when you say he's not the right person to lead, without putting yourself in the picture,
yes,
who and what kind of leader does South African football need?
We need a leader that will be able to not change the constitution as when we go to the election. We need a leader that will take South Africans into confidence when you do your vision. You don't do your vision in the office. You go to the people that are in football. You speak to them. You speak to your supporters. You speak to your sponsors. You speak to your stakeholders. Then you are then going to put up a vision that you means it encompasses everyone that is in football. But when you look at from 2013 up to now, there is not much achievement. I've never said we have done nothing. There is a lot that we have done in terms of women's football. I've raised that. We have established a women's national league. Banyana are doing very well. But the concern for South African has always been Bafana. Has always been Bafana. And we have not done well. And we cannot go and say, you know, we have done well. We have not done well in terms of Bafana. We need to look at that. I'm still saying we need change as South African Football Association. It's never about an individual. Football Association is not a one-man show. Yeah. It is a lot of people that have been elected on Saturday to go there and change the status quo and go there and make sure that our legends, make sure that South Africans, our supporters, get value for their money when they come to the stadium. Those are the things that I was talking about. The local football association, they need to be funded. The regions, they voted But I know the ones that the majority of the ones that I've spoken about, they're still not happy with the manner in which they are paid on a monthly basis, the manner, the amount of money that they receive that would not assist them. So in principle, it's not about the elections on Saturday.
Yeah.
I do have a case where I took it to SAFA and I showed them the issue of governance, the issue of the constitution that we're facing with right now. And those are the matters that I will continue to fight for. It's not about me being the president of the organization. It might be a young person who comes in as the president of the organization. I will be happy with it. I just want to see change at the organization.
Mama, Bra Shakes Mashaba, the former head coach of Bafana Bafana, spoke to my colleague Tsepo Tobani on Saturday outside Sandton Convention Center, and he specifically very clearly said, come December of this year, Danny Jordaan will not be sitting in that position that he's just been re-elected to. We don't know what exactly it is Brasheks Mashaba and the legends are going to do to ensure that he's no longer there. He didn't even specify it, but it was a bold statement that he made, essentially a bold promise that he made, that Danny Jordaan will not be sitting in this position come December. Do you support that? Do we know what it is your supporters mean by that?
What I know is that the legends want change. That's the principle. They have gone out there, they have spoken out. I just hope they're not going to be victimized, those that were speaking out their feelings. Because in South African Football Association, you can't speak your mind. I am a testimony of that. I was removed as a vice president because of speaking out. So I just hope those legends that were out there to say we need change, and they were not talking about an individual. I've never heard one of the legends speaking about an individual, but they were saying they need change, they need to be part of the organization, they need to play a part as legends, they need to participate, not to be an association that does not participate in any of the products of SAFA.
Mama, time is running out. You know, when you're having fun, time does go very quickly. So I'm just going to ask you this. Back to my initial question, what's next for Ria Ledwaba, who's now no longer an influential part of the association, no longer in the leadership structures anymore? You don't have that influence to change things from the top. You are now, essentially, it could be safe to say, you are now influencing from outside. And there's very limited power when you can do it like that. So what next for Ria Ledwaba?
I think it's important that I must state that South African Football Association is a national asset. It can be influenced by footballers. I'm a footballer, I will remain a footballer, and I will remain an influencer in making sure that there's change at South African Football Association.
And just what's your final parting word to the re-elected president of the South African Football Association? What do you want him to hear you say now today?
I heard him saying one vision that I put forward, succession plan. I hope he does that.
All right. Ria Ledwaba, thank you so much for joining us. Commiserations for not getting that position. But, you know, I think a lot of South Africans can take comfort in the fact that this defeat does not necessarily mean you are now stepping away from football, that you are a footballer by heart and you will remain a footballer. And we would very much like to continue seeing what it is exactly you are going to be giving back to South African football going forward. But we really do appreciate your time here on eNCA this morning. That is Ria Ledwaba, of course, the former SAFA vice president, who recently on Saturday, of course, at the Sandton Convention Center, lost her bid to become the next SAFA president.